Don't be saying too much about Iran. They said that we're cool. They said that we are cool. They said African Americans have been through a lot. So don't say too much. Don't go over there and don't be doing too much. And you know, if you look like us and you wearing that camo, you better not be doing too much.
I want to talk to all the Black Americans who are jumping out of the window in support of Iran right now. I want y'all to really think about this. Yes, the Ayatollah Khomeini did release black hostages in 1979, I believe.
Hello good people, welcome to African Commentary. Here we learn and grow every day, and if you are new here, kindly consider subscribing, liking and sharing the videos. I'll really appreciate. So I came across certain videos whereby white people are so mad at Black Americans for their silence over the Trump and Iran's war. I mean, what do they expect from Black Americans? Actually, they are blaming Black Americans that they are siding with Iranians. So before I speak much, let's watch some videos and then I'm going to give my 2 cents at the end. Also, let me know what do you think about this in the comment section down below.
Sometimes I forget that white people aren't as engaged with Black creators on this app and in the world as I am. So there was something over the weekend that I thought everybody was very well aware of, but I'm understanding that that's not the case. I was talking to my mom today, and she and my brother went to a protest on April 5th to protest Trump and all of the things that have been happening for the last couple of months. So she was telling me about her experience, and she said it was like a love fest. It was so nice to be with all of these people, thousands of people, and everybody signs and all this stuff. And I said to her, did you notice that there weren't many Black people there, if any? And she was like, yeah, actually, I did notice, and I was confused. And I was like, I thought Black people were really upset about him too, and I didn't understand. This is my mom talking. So I explained to her that 92% of Black women and 80% of Black men did what they were supposed to do back on November 5th. And they are now resting and they are not participating in these here protests. And that there was a concerted effort for Black folks to stay home yesterday on April 5th. And to be honest, I think she's still confused about the why. But I'm working on that. But do yourself a favor and follow Black content creators here on TikTok, because you will learn so much and you will be able to use your new knowledge to help educate the people that you are in proximity with. But yeah, wait, folks, if you didn't know, Black folks said, we're not marching on April 5th. We're not doing it. We're going to stay home. We're going to let white people get us out of this mess because white people got us into this mess. The more you.
So someone on my Facebook questioned me when I said that we should listen to Black voices and learn from them, be humble and learn from them. And they said, why? Well, let me tell you exactly what they said. Why? Google has removed Black History Month from its calendar. It's time to treat all skin colors the same. This is a white person. I'm not going to say it was, doesn't matter. But I did reply. I usually don't reply to stuff like that, but I did. And I would just tell you what I said, but I usually don't do this, but I'm going to read it because I want to. I said, why? Because intentionally listening to and learning from Black people changed the way I think about race, love, and faithfulness. They humbled me to see that systemic racism and white privilege are very real and dynamic forces in the world, especially in America. They painfully revealed to me things I never would have learned about my own unintentional racist actions. In short, Black voices helped me get out of my echo chamber and face the reality that the world is a more nuanced place than I had once thought it was. I said it because someone said the exact same thing to me in 2018, and it put me on a path to become a more empathetic and loving person. I said it because I thought maybe if I said it, the same journey might begin for some of my friends here. That's why I said it.
By the time Trump get out of office, he's going to have them broken into 1,000 pieces. And not only them, all people that's underneath his spectrum. We're talking about of his community, Trump. They're going to be broken in 1,000 pieces. And okay, you can get a Democrat, come right in. It don't matter who you vote for. It don't matter if you put Gavin Newsom in there. It don't matter if you go get Kamala and put her in there. It don't matter who you put in there. They cannot repair with the folks what Trump is going to shatter. And they're going to long for the days of even just being back in 2010. They're not going to long for the 50s no more. They're going to long for certain areas in the 2000s. And so at least we still had this. At least we still had that. They're going to long for those days, I'm telling you. I literally see it coming. It's like right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's there. As Black Americans, we're like, we cool. We are so cool. We like I said, we got more holidays gonna come up. Dr. King's holiday is Monday, and we definitely gonna celebrate our great brother, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the great brother that he was, and his legacy. We're gonna celebrate that. We're not worried about what these folks are doing. Let's get to another thing here. Now for years, when Black women would go into the stores, they would criminalize Black women by locking up the hair care products. And I used to that's ridiculous because they watching you watching shoplifting of everything. Why are you only going to lock that up? And only locked up the Black products, right? Clearly racial targeting. But I want y'all to check out this video because it's crazy the world we're living in now and how things are starting to flip. Check this out.
I gotta show y'all something because the world is changing. Ready for this? Hold on. Okay. You see all the Black hair care, natural hair out, right? Right? Hold on. Y'all, they locked up the white people. I ain't never seen this before. All the white people locked up. Look at it. All the way down to head and shoulders. That's how you know it's for the white people. That is crazy. Bedhead. Oh my God. I ain't never seen nothing like it. The world is changing.
Yeah, that is crazy. That's why that sister had to film that. They're locking up the head and shoulders with Black people. We don't use no head and shoulders. We got our own products that we use. If you we know we got to keep our oil, the oil in our hair and all of that because the dryness and so that's not nothing we never use. I mean, head and shoulders, but they locking up their products now. You know what that means? They're stealing it. And you know what also that means? I guess Black people aren't stealing hair products all of a sudden. Because if Black people, if it was so much of a hot commodity, why haven't they still locking it up? So now you're putting out the Black products and locking up the ones for the white people. It's changing, ladies and gentlemen. It is thoroughly changing. And I know probably some white people what is going on with this? I really believe that you're going to really experience America for what it really is. Because for a long time, you didn't experience America for what it really was. You understand? You got to live in, what some people say, la la land. Meaning your reality wasn't real. You understand what I'm saying? You was living in an alternate America. You remember how Dr. King talked about?
White people, are y'all scared to go in Black spaces? I know a lot of you, and if you're like, is he talking about me? Probably. Are you scared to go in Black spaces? If so, I'm talking about you. I feel like so many white people are scared to go in Black spaces for stereotypical reasons, right? Whether subconscious or not, you're probably thinking, am I safe? Are they just gonna jump me? I don't know what you're thinking. Are they gonna rob me? But I don't really know, what you think is gonna happen. And I think a lot of you think, well, I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb. You will. You're the only white person there. How do you think a Black person feels when they walk into a white space? You will stick out like a sore thumb. Of course you will. Well, they look at me, baby, they're making sure you're not there to hurt them. See, the difference is you're looking at them through the lens of stereotypes, right? They're looking at you through a lens of self-protection, because obviously through history, this country has shown over and over and over again the way it feels about its Black citizens. And it's still doing it today. So baby, when you walk into their space, they're just trying to make sure that they're safe around you because of actual historical reasons, not stereotypes. The magic happens when they realize you're safe. That's when the magic happens. And I promise.
Why is the Black silence so deafening?
How y'all doing? I hope all is okay. There's an interesting video going around about why are Black people silent? And I I can't speak for every black person because we're not a monolith. Black people come in all shapes, sizes, genders, gender identity, and cultural, ethnic backgrounds, and also you throw in a little religion and maybe secular as well. But as an American, as an African American, with the knowledge of the history of this country and how historically my ancestors, my people, are continually being used, abused, mistreated, disrespected, marginalized, yada, yada, yada. And to watch in real time laws that many have died and bled for and put their lives on the line, you know, going up against racist sheriffs, water hoses, dogs, all kinds of threats of brutality, car bombing, house bombings, burning crosses in their yard. And to watch after decade of fighting for that and finally getting the Civil Rights Act of 1964-65, and here we are in 2025, we talk about no more than 50 some years later, and we're still witnessing the wickedness and the evilness of white racists who want to sustain white supremacy. We witnessed an election where everybody seemed like they were singing Kumbaya and all well united. And when it was time for us to cast our vote, they decided on a racist, a criminal with felony convictions, a bad business person, a person who has the moral aptitude of a chihuahua. Yes, that's who y'all chose over someone who we know, if we look at all the mess that's going on right now, if we would have chose Kamala, how many of y'all can honestly say we'd be going through this chaos? So we're silent because we're tired. We're tired of telling y'all, look, shit ain't right here. We're suffering. We're not living like most people in the world. Look at China. You go to the store with $20, come out with bags and bags of groceries. You try to go grocery shopping with $20 over here. So we're tired. And so to me, black silence represents exhaustion. Or shall I say, a recognition that it is what it is. This is how these people have always felt about us. The whole, oh, we're in a post-racial society bullcrap narrative dispelled. Donald Trump not being a racist. And Mr. Ooh, I done a lot for the blacks. Yeah, right. The whole policy of turning South African apartheid survivors into martyrs and giving them refugee status in this country while we're kicking out black and brown people daily. Yeah, that's why we're silent. We're sitting here, we're watching how y'all nature is never going to change. This is who you all are. So when you all threaten us with things like segregation, we welcome them because a lot of us, the majority of us, have reached a point where we feel it's best to stay amongst our own people. You all are safe to come into our spaces, but it's not safe for us to come into your neighborhoods, your communities, your shopping stores, okay, your religious facilities. We never know what we're going to get. Your events, your concerts. We never know. So we're silent. We're tired. Leave us alone, please.
The lengths people will go to avoid holding people accountable for their actions is astounding. Because this involved two black men, this is black people business. I was not aware that ABC was so technologically advanced that they only broadcast this to black people TVs. The whole world saw it. You're going to tell people they can't talk about what they saw? Why are we trying to make this a race issue? What conversation are you trying to avoid? That's my question. I saw this on Twitter last night or early this morning. Black emotions scare white people, that is clear. Black emotions aren't scary. Black emotions are profitable. Every 4 years, politicians turn black emotions into votes. Will Smith put his hands on another human being, and you want to make it a race issue. It sends the message that our default is reactionary. We're inherently violent. We can't control our emotions. We're too fragile to handle a joke. It sends the message that we're too weak to navigate important conversations. The important conversation, I think, is why don't we take...
A whole lot of white people are embarrassingly uninformed about Black history. All the Black people that are watching this right now know that already, but it can be hard for a lot of white people to realize. The problem is that Black history is not just for Black people. White people have benefited enormously from what Black people have done, what they've contributed to science, art, music, philosophy, culture. And at the same time, many of the issues we still argue about only exist because white people made them exist. That part isn't flattering, but it's a truth. Black history is American history. It's not a feel-good elective you might take in a liberal arts college. The economy, the laws, the culture, and the wealth gaps we live with today were shaped alongside Black labor, Black resistance, Black creativity, and leaving that out creates a version of America that doesn't actually work. Most white people have been lied to by omission and outright lies. In fact, all of us have. But when facts are withheld from me, I get mad. And when people lie to me, it pisses me off. A partial story is still a lie. Learning Black history fills in what was deliberately left out so that the present finally makes sense. Systems stop looking so innocent when you see what they were built for. Housing, policing, education, healthcare, wealth. The way these panned out are not just accidents. When you understand Black experiences over time, today's disparities stop looking mysterious and start looking engineered, because they were. When Black people overcome these barriers, that reflects strength and ingenuity that white people rarely have to develop. White culture owes a whole lot to Black culture. Music, language, fashion, humor, political strategies. Rock and roll didn't come out of nowhere. Even white bread depended on backbreaking Black labor, while the white institutions took all the credit. That's systemic racism in action. For white people to acknowledge the things that have been done, you don't have to look at it as self-hatred. You can feel bad about it in the same way you feel bad about what Jeffrey Dahmer did. Some white people did horrific things, and you are not being asked to identify with it. In fact, if you can't relate to what they did, you are in a perfect position to name it and let the sunlight hit it so it can't hide. That is not about shame. It's about accuracy. I'm not an expert, just an avid learner. Please join me and get curious.
Stay and watch this video. We are being silenced in America. Guys, the most insane, crazy thing has happened to me just now. I made a video on, I can't even say it, bro. This, Israel, and what's really going on behind the of Charlie. I literally have to speak in code. This is insane. Y'all know that TikTok updated their terms and conditions and all that stuff on September 13th. Charlie Kirk was on September 12th, right? Terms and conditions updated on the 13th. Candace Owens coming out on YouTube exposing it all. Exposing what Charlie Kirk was going through before his exposing who was coming after him, who he had to say no to. Y'all, I have to literally censor that. Let me show you something. I posted a video on that. I went in detail, 7 minutes long. I felt like literally led to make that video. It spoke a lot about how we need to unify against the common enemy and stop hating each other so much, because that's exactly what they want. Conquer and divide. Watch this screen recording, okay? On my main account, it plateaued.
Y'all, Candace Owens is risking her life.
This
like,
is my
she's
video,
risking her.
okay? Now I'm going on my other account to see if it's showing up, because it was only at like 75 views. I'm like, what is that? I go on my channel. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there, guys. You cannot view my video in the US. I have a lot of followers outside of the US, like Brazil, Australia, South Africa. Most of them are in the US. I promise you those 75 views are people outside of the US. Bro, are y'all hearing what I'm saying? We are being controlled. There is something else going on. And if y'all can't set aside your hatred long enough for each other to realize that something isn't right, like, I don't know, y'all might just be sheep. There was a creator on here that said, a bird can only fly when both wings are in unity. I'ma leave it right there. This is crazy. Oh yeah, because I gotta say it, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take my, if this video gets taken down too, like, I don't even know what to do at this point. I'm moving to YouTube. Cause what?
Black people are the only people that go around making sure everyone knows they have white in their family. They have white in their blood. They got a grandma that could pass for white. These are black people doing this. The question is why? Because how many times have you went to a white person and say, I got black in my family, I got black blood? You don't. So why are blacks so eager to accept whites and then act like they're so revolutionary to be against whites? The only reason black people are against whites is if whites are okay with being separate from blacks. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with living alongside whites. What I'm trying to ask is, why are these revolutionary blacks able to sit there and claim how they want to be so pro-black, and yet a place like Ebony can put up 3 mixed and one that doesn't look black? I mean, even by your wildest stretch of your imagination, Zendaya's not black. But she gets a black pass. Because, well, one of her parents are black, so she's black. Black people, that allows you to be able to be infiltrated very easily. The Italian mob would not let you become a boss if your family lineage could not be traced back to the old country. Yet black folks will claim that they're in a revolutionary state. And you'll hear somebody like Zendaya and Harry Belafonte and this Jesse guy claim that they're tired of seeing blacks get shot. Well, let me tell you something, Zendaya. Let me tell you something, Harry Belafonte. Let me tell you something, Jesse. They're shooting the ones that look like me. The ones you make fun of and call black and ugly and nappy-headed. That one. The ones who you say, one of the phone callers on my show said, they call my daughter ugly, and I know my daughter's far from ugly because she's mixed. This is exactly what a woman said on my show, black woman. Head full of weed. So she believes that mixed kids cannot be ugly. Many of you believe this. I've seen black women walk up to mixed kids and play in their hair at grocery stores. Hell, I even see a woman do it at, I was at Universal in California. She literally went up to this woman's baby and played in her baby's hair and told her how beautiful her baby was. Let me ask you something. How many times have you seen a black woman do this to a dark-skinned kid? Don't get mad at black men for wanting to date outside of their race, to produce these mixed kids that you now put on the cover of your magazines as the new faces of black. Because apparently the old one wasn't working. Nobody likes mixed people more than black people. It's evident by this magazine cover. So the next time you wonder why people like me may have self-hatred, remember, it starts with you. We didn't grow up knowing that there was something wrong with being black. You told us that there was. Now we believe you. Ebony, keep up the good work. We need more mixed people in the world. Black people believe this. My color is obsolete. They don't like people that look like me and my daughter. So I guess we'll just let the new leadership take its place. And we'll just dissolve it and done.
This is a very racist society. I mean, it's pretty shocking. Remember what happened. The constitutional amendments during and after the Civil War were supposed to free African American slaves. It did something for about 10 years. Then there was a North-South Compact, which essentially granted the former slave-owning states the right to do whatever they wanted. And what they did was criminalize black life in all kinds of ways. Now, that created a kind of a slave force. It threw mostly black males, but also women, into jail, where they become a perfect labor force, much better than slaves. If you're a slave owner, you have to keep your capital alive. If the state does it for you, it's terrific. No strikes, no disobedience, perfect labor force. A lot of the American Industrial Revolution in the late 19th, early 20th century is based on that. Actually, it pretty much lasted until the Second World War, when there was a need for what's called free labor in the war industry. After that come about two decades in which African Americans had a kind of a shot entering the society. A black worker get a job in an auto plant. The unions were still functioning, maybe buy a small house, send a kid to college or something. By the 1970s or 80s, it's going back to criminalization of black life. It's called the drug war, which is a racist war. Ronald Reagan was an extreme racist, didn't hide it. And the whole drug war, so-called, is designed from policing up to eventual release from prison to make it impossible for the black male community and more the women and more Hispanics to be part of the society. In fact, if you look at American history, the first slaves came in 1619, and that's half a millennium. There have been about 3 or 4 decades in which African Americans had a limited degree of freedom. It's not entirely, but at least some. Now, of course, it's for black elites, there's some privileges, but I'm talking about the mass of the population, which has been recriminalized and incidentally.
Many MAGA supporters and white Americans are so angry that black Americans are silent over whatever is going on. I mean, they expect that every time something is happening, they want black Americans to speak about it. They want black Americans to take actions. Why are they so mad that black Americans are quiet? Black Americans are minding their own business. It is because black Americans are tired and they are exhausted with everything that is happening in America. Every now and then you wake up, something is happening. You wake up, Trump has attacked another nation. You wake up, like, they're never at rest. Americans in general are never at rest, and so this is so exhausting. You're just human beings. I mean, you need to rest. You need to take some time off everything that is happening and just watch. Sometimes they say silence is the best weapon, because when black Americans speak, it's a problem. Again, when they keep quiet, it is a problem. So what do white Americans want? If they have the power to speak and take actions, can't they just do that without involving black Americans? So what do they want from black Americans? Can black Americans go and stop the war? Why should black Americans be concerned or involved, but at the same time they are not getting equal opportunities as white Americans? If it was like, if black Americans intervene, if they speak, some change is going to take place, that would have been better. But what's the point of them speaking, taking action, but they're still experiencing the same things over and over again? Inequality is still going on, injustice is still going on. Like, black people are not even getting the same opportunities as white people. So what is the point of them speaking or taking action? They'll just suffer by wasting their energy, wasting their effort, speaking for other people, but no one speaks for them. So for black Americans, take rest, just watch. Silence sometimes is the best weapon, because when you keep on talking and talking and talking, nothing is going to happen. At the end of it, you're still going to be ignored. You're still going to suffer the way you suffer. They don't care about you. They just care about what you can offer. They just care about the energy you bring. They just care about your voices, when it is about other people? Why don't they care about when it is about Black Americans' issues, when it's about Black people's issues, you know? Why is it that when it is another group of people suffering, Black Americans need to intervene? But when it's Black Americans who need the assistance, who need this voice, who need action, no one speaks for them. Not to say that we are supporting the war. I believe that even just watching and being silent is a way of avoiding a lot of issues, you know? Let the one who started the war finish it. The long-term consequences that are coming with all this are affecting Black Americans. They are affecting white Americans. They are affecting Iranians. But that is something that they are not ready to speak about. People are losing a lot more than these people who started the war. For them, they just know how to ignite the fire to keep the war going on, but they are comfortable in their houses. They are comfortable doing everything they always do. So let's be clever. Black people, Black Americans, you need to be smart. Keep your heads high, keep minding your own business, because at the end of it, they don't care about you. They just care about what benefit you can bring, or what action you can take, or what can you speak about, so that they start also talking that, you know, Black Americans are siding with the Iranians. Black Americans are quiet. Black Americans this and that. Let Black Americans rest. It's enough. Let them just take a breath and do their own things. I mean, they're also human beings. They deserve everything good. They deserve to be resting. They deserve to just keep quiet. Yeah. So with that said, guys, let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I really appreciate seeing the next video. Bye.